coverage you can count on. KOMU 8 News starts now.
The future of the Columbia Citizens Police Review Board is uncertain after 3 members have resigned and all meetings are on hold. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Emily Spain. Thanks so much for joining us today. Last night, the City Council unanimously voted to suspend all meetings after citing, quote, unwelcome behavior at the most recent review board meeting this month. Last night, Mayor Barbara Buffalo announced the resignation of Michael Williams. He's the 3rd member now to resign in the last 2 months. Buffalo says the Citizens Police Review Board needs restructuring before filling those vacancies. The resolution means the board can no longer hold monthly meetings and only meet to review appeals or tasks related to those. Today we talked to 2 current board members caught up in the controversy.
But the current problem with the board is that communication completely has collapsed. I can't get board members to talk to me.
I think that it's gotten to the point where we've had such turnover month by month, it has gotten somewhat combative.
Harmon says the future of the board will be determined by the council in October. Buffalo also asked for a task force to look into whether the board is functioning as it was intended to as an independent review of alleged or perceived misconduct within the Columbia Police Department. And we finally saw some rain. Let's take a look at some of that video. Hey, we haven't seen that in a while, have we, Matt? So I had to actually search for my umbrella today. How long do I need to keep it out, though?
You know, Emily, you can put it away for a day or 2, but maybe like front of the closet. Don't put it too far because I do think some rain chances will creep back in by the weekend. Let's go ahead and look at our satellite and radar right now. Still a few lingering sprinkles and showers out there, but the bulk of the rain's done. Still holding on to a lot of cloud cover as well. And one way we can kind of indicate that we're still seeing some of those sprinkles, even a little bit of drizzle, the reduced visibility that we're seeing from Eldon to the Lake of the Ozarks, Camdenton, and Versailles. Off to our north and east, things are quiet, and actually the sun's starting to come out, and that's where temperatures have warmed up. 78 right now in Paris. Meanwhile, it's 74 in Fulton, 72 in Columbia and Jefferson City. Meanwhile, it's 64 degrees in Camdenton. We'll continue to see that temperature into the 70s through the evening. A few spot showers with us, clouds clearing, fog building in tomorrow morning. We'll talk about all of it coming up in just a few minutes.
Okay, thanks, Matt. President Joe Biden has signed the Inflation Reduction Act into law. That plan has tax credits for things like solar panels, energy-efficient windows and heat pumps, and extends credits for electric vehicles. The bill also affects health care. If you get an enhanced federal premium subsidy through the Affordable Care Act, it'll now last through 2025, and Medicare will now be allowed to negotiate certain drug prices. The president says the people are the big winners of this bill turning into law.
Let me say from the start, with this law, the American people won and the special interests lost. The American people won and the special interests lost.
The White House is planning a major speech for Biden after Labor Day that Biden says is a hard-hitting kickoff for midterm campaigning. The Biden administration will automatically cancel nearly $4 billion in student loan debt. That move will benefit more than 200,000 former students who attended the now defunct for-profit ITT Technical Institute. ITT shut down in 2016 after the government withdrew its federal funding when the school failed to show it was in compliance with certain accreditation standards. Biden has now canceled a total of nearly $32 billion of loan debt. First Lady Jill Biden has tested positive for COVID-19. A spokesperson says she's experiencing mild symptoms. President Biden, who was recently infected with COVID-19, tested negative yet today. And the First Lady will remain in South Carolina to isolate as the president returns to the White House today. Well, no one wants to take their kids to the emergency room, but now there's a new entrance at the University Hospital in Columbia just for pediatric patients. The Children's Emergency Room moved from Keene Street last November as part of the effort by MU Healthcare to establish a centralized hospital campus, and that's where we find KMU's Stephanie Roche. She joins us live from outside the University Hospital to tell us how this latest move could help kids get emergency care faster.
Well, the new entrance located on the west side of University Hospital is meant to separate the adult ER patients from the child ER patients. And one doctor I spoke to today said that they want the facility to be kid-friendly to help alleviate any anxiety kids might have when coming in. And to comfort children, Link the therapy dog is present. Plus, there's kid-specific care items, equipment, and decor. The new entrance allows pediatric patients to have their own dedicated waiting rooms, and the goal of this is to provide faster care, but wait times still can vary by the amount of patients present. But this new entrance may also alleviate some stress for parents who bring their children to the ER.
It starts from the moment they walk through the door. There's a kid-friendly waiting area for them to be triaged at, where they get checked in. And then it includes all the way to pediatric trained specialty nurses, our pediatric emergency physicians, and then even a dedicated children's emergency department within the University Hospital ED.
And there is a parking garage right across the street from the entrance, and you can also see that there's a drop-off area right in front of the doors. And today I spoke to a spokesperson for MU, and he confirmed that construction on the new tower for the Children's Hospital and Birthing Center is on schedule to be completed by summer of 2024. Reporting live in Columbia, Steffi Roche, KOMU8 News.
MU Healthcare also opened a new urgent care clinic in Mexico today. The Mizzou Urgent Care is located in the same facility as the Family Medicine Clinic, which opened last month. The clinic will provide on-demand medical care 7 days a week, led by a physician already familiar with serving Audrain County. MU Healthcare's head urgent care emergency physician says the clinic will provide more services to residents in need.
On-demand acute care services for urgent needs for patients in the community. We'll offer treatments with IV as needed, breathing treatments, on-site x-ray, and also allow connection to the MU campus as well.
He says the Mexico Urgent Care Clinic shares its staffing pool with the Columbia Urgent Care Clinic, and patients will have access to all MU healthcare specialists. The FDA is issuing a new rule allowing hearing aids to be sold over the counter without a prescription. The goal is to help Americans with hearing issues and also lower the cost of hearing aids in general. Due to the complex nature of hearing loss, one Columbia hearing specialist says he's not convinced this is the best way to get people the care they need.
That presents the conundrum right there is self-diagnosis, and so a lot of people don't even understand hearing loss, what kind of hearing loss they have, what the root cause of it is, and then how to treat it. So I think there's a lot of complexities there.
The rule goes into effect in October, but right now there is no timeline on when you'll see those hearing aids on store shelves. Coming up, how extreme drought is leading to water shortages in the West. Plus, after the break, the latest on the FBI's search warrant of Mar-a-Lago and what the FBI's returning.
Let's look at our rainfall. We picked up 1.6 inches today, and now for the month of August, a surplus. Haven't had that in a month for a while. We'll talk about how long our rain chances will stick with us coming up.
But first, you're taking a live look over downtown Columbia. You can see the cloudy skies there. Your time is 5:07. This is KOMU8 News, First at 5. Coverage you can count on. Welcome back. It's primary election day in Alaska and Wyoming today. Two of former President Trump's biggest GOP critics are on the ballot. In Wyoming, it's Representative Liz Cheney, who's the vice chair of the House Select Committee investigating January 6th. She's facing multiple Republican challengers. Over in Alaska, Senator Lisa Murkowski is also on the ballot. She's the only Republican senator on the ballot to vote in favor of Trump's second impeachment. A federal judge is set to hear arguments on unsealing the remaining documents of the search warrant affidavit for Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate. A federal judge scheduled an in-person hearing for 1 p.m. on Thursday in West Palm Beach. It's the judge who approved the search warrant. The unsealing of that warrant has been a heated topic of discussion between the former president and the Department of Justice. The FBI interviewed former White House counsel Pat Cipollone and his former deputy Patrick Philbin earlier this year. It's part of the investigation into federal records taken from Mar-a-Lago. That's according to two people briefed on the matter. The pair are the most senior former Trump officials interviewed in what is now a criminal investigation of possible mishandling of classified information and obstruction. Donald Trump will also be getting his passports back. The FBI announced yesterday the passports were taken during the Florida search. Officials say the passports are not needed for their investigation and they were handed over to Trump's lawyers. Trump went on social media claiming agents, quote, stole the passports, 2 of which are expired. Iran wants compensation and future U.S. presidents withdraw from future nuclear deals. That's currently proposed to the European Union. In 2015, then President Trump withdrew from a deal reached under Obama and kickstarted strong sanctions 3 years later. The U.S. has received Iran's response to the EU nuclear deal proposal. Coming up next, how one Missouri sheriff was able to save over 50 dogs.
Are you missing the heat? It's not too far away. Look at central Oklahoma, 100 degrees there. The rain-cooled air has us in the low 70s. We'll get back to the 80s tomorrow, tracking the warm-up coming up.
Dozens of dogs have been rescued from a puppy mill in Ray County that's just east of Kansas City. A phone call to the Ray County Sheriff led him to a rural property last week where an older couple told him they had issues with their dogs. When the sheriff got there, he found over 50 dogs in bad condition. The rescue community says they got right to work.
Immediately began removing dogs that we knew we could find immediate placement for. Small dogs, puppies, elderly dogs, injured dogs.
The sheriff says his agency continues to investigate and won't file charges as long as the homeowners cooperate. The sheriff also adopted one of the dogs for his own family. Here's what's happening right now back here in mid-Missouri. Parts of Montgomery County are experiencing a power outage. Currently, more than 1,500 people are without power. Ameren says it has crews on site figuring out the cause, but there's no timetable just yet about when that power will come back on. Drought conditions are starting to affect water usage in some western states. Today, the federal government announced the Colorado River will operate in a tier 2 shortage condition and that starts in January. The river is drying up due to historic drought conditions, and that's draining the Lake Mead and Lake Powell reservoirs. The tier 2 designation means Arizona, Nevada, and Mexico will have to cut back on their usage from the Colorado River.
Much needed, very beneficial rainfall across central Missouri today. You can see it was widespread, just as we were expecting, and also like we were expecting, the bulk of that has now moved off to the south. The focal point for the rain tonight is going to be across southern Missouri. Skies slowly starting to clear, especially in our northeast counties. A few peaks of sunshine up towards Mexico, Moberly, Macon. Still a lot of cloud cover for us, and still even a few light sprinkles and showers, and I think that's going to continue to be with us for the next several hours. I don't think we'll completely dry out for quite some time, a couple more hours at the very least. Our radar estimated rainfall totals show you that we saw some very healthy rainfall. We've been talking about that drought monitor really highlighting along that I-70 corridor from Columbia to Kansas City. Lots of yellows and oranges there, lots of oranges, even some reds down near the Lake of the Ozarks. Let's put some actual observations to this coloring here. The Columbia Regional Airport picking up 1.7 inches of rain. MU campus picking up just 1.25 here, 1.5 in Jeff City, almost 2 inches in Boonville, 2.25 inches in Versailles. Vichy picking up over 2 inches, and Moberly picking up close to 1.5 inches of rainfall. So all very healthy totals, all certainly needed in the midst of our drought situation. For tomorrow, we're looking dry. I think we're going to continue to be dry into Thursday. By Friday, we'll watch for the potential of a few spot showers. Nothing impressive in the forecast here in terms of our rain chances, but I do think we'll continue to see some isolated activity Friday night into Saturday and even into Sunday as well. I don't think it's going to be a washout, and I think you are going to get plenty of dry time. Still a lot to fall with exactly when the peak timing is going to hit here. Precipcast shows that our satellite and radar is going to feature a few clouds on Friday afternoon. Heading into our Saturday, a few spot showers and thunderstorms, and then into Sunday, a few spot showers and thunderstorms. Right now, Sunday's starting to trend a little more wet. We'll be watching that and keeping you updated, but at this point, I think it's going to kind of come and go here. in terms of that rain chance. Our temperature trend compared to average over the next 10 days, you can see this is the average line here, and we are staying at or below that for the foreseeable trend. So a welcome pattern here in central Missouri after some very hot days this summer. And I do think that with our temperatures in the longer range here as we head towards the end of the month, I think that below average trend is going to continue for us. So we've certainly earned it. I still think it's going to be warm enough to get to the pool these last several days here as we get ready to see those close ahead of our next holiday. But I do think we are going to be able to get in those as well. Rain chances going to continue kind of in the battle zone here for us. Wetter to the south, drier to the north. I still think we're going to start seeing some more rain chances moving in. 62 tonight, 82 for tomorrow. Morning fog going to be an issue for us. I expect reduced visibilities. Might give yourself an extra minute or two as you're headed out the door. This will linger a little bit into mid-morning before we finally start to clear things out in the afternoon. 82 on Wednesday. Thursday, 85 degrees. By the way, Thursday's sunset at 8 p.m. It is our last sunset after 8 p.m. after 8 p.m. 86 on Friday, 84 Saturday, 82 Sunday. We're going to stick with those low to mid 80s into early next week, Emily.
Okay, thanks, Matt. After the break, why using a credit card might cost you more money than you think.
Right now, concerns shifting to holiday travel later this year after air traffic control staffing delays expose a worrisome soft spot in the system. Also, why more schools aren't cashing in on federal funding for cleaner classroom air when we see you tonight.
Welcome back. Keeping a credit card balance could cost you a lot more this year. According to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, credit card interest rates are going up. The Federal Reserve has been raising interest rates to combat inflation this year. The Bureau says a person with a $5,000 balance on a credit card could pay an additional $1,000 in interest over the course of a year. Well, some good news here. The price of gas has been dropping, and it looks like that trend is going to continue. AAA reports the national average for a gallon of gas is just under $3.95. That's down about a penny from Sunday, but it's noticeably less than the record high of $5.02 from mid-June. In Missouri, the average price is $3.52. Some analysts say many states could see gas prices fall below $3 per gallon by the end of the year. We'll have one final check of your forecast coming up next. MU Healthcare opened a new entrance today specifically for pediatric patients. It's for the Children's Emergency Room. KMU8's Steffi Rose joins us live outside University Hospital with a recap of one of our top stories. Steffi.
Well, the new entrance separates the adult ER patients from the child ER patients, and it also allows pediatric patients to have their own waiting area. And the goal of this is to provide faster care, but wait times still can vary by the amount of patients present. And to comfort children, a therapy dog is present. Plus, there's kid-specific care teams, equipment, and kid-friendly decor. Reporting live in Columbia, Steffi Roche, KMU8 News.
Now here's what we're following for KMU8 News at 6 o'clock. A meeting starting soon will let residents voice their opinions on transportation needs in Columbia. We'll tell you what problems they are hoping to fix. That story coming up at 6. Matt?
And we continue to see a few of those spot showers on radar right now, getting reports of some drizzle and mist down near the Lake of the Ozarks. That's going to continue for us for a few more hours. Eventually, we'll see fog by tomorrow morning, and then by the afternoon tomorrow, we're going to be in the low 80s with mostly sunny skies returning.
It's giving me hope for fall.
Yeah, I was sitting on my couch and just kind of thinking fall thoughts. Apple cider.
Apple cider.